Hi everyone, can you hear me? Hi there, can you hear me? Yay! How are you? How are all you? Hi everyone! Oh my gosh, I have been working on the technology. I don't know if you guys noticed. Well, I'm sure you noticed, but I now have the chat on the screen and then I'm able to like emphasize chat. So this is so exciting. Yay! Hi Letitia! Is this better? Hi Kate! Does the audio sound a little bit better now? I don't know what I can do about the audio. Maybe, oh, this might be better, huh? If I'm lifting up my mic, it sounds like it's better. Hi, Janice. Great. Okay, so this audio, like this level, sounds good to everyone? Hi, Isabel. All right, well, we can get going. I'm just going to put some background photos on for us to look at. There we go. Does the chat still pop up? Oh, I think I need to do this and the chat will pop up. Yeah, there we go. Look at me figuring out these technical things. Yay! Oh, it takes time, right? All right, so is there any topics you all want to talk about? Anything you want to start this off with? Great, perfect. Thank you, Ocean Gal. Thank you, Letitia. Hi, Space Cat. Thank you. Look, it only took 2 times. It's getting better. Here, let me move that and maybe let's move. Oh, let's do this. Let's move. I like that there. Let's move this here. Oh, Sandra's here. There we go. Hi, Janice. Where is Megan? Didn't she make an appearance last night? Hi, Dawn. Yeah, she made an appearance last night at an event for a hair product. Like she's one of the investors of it, and she looked really. Oh, the chat is already on the right side automatically. Okay, that's good. Perfect. So what do you all think? Where do you think Megan is? Hi, C and K. Hi, Bible Unbutchered. So glad you're all here. Have you all seen that footage? The pictures of her at that event from last night? Jam and shampoo at the mall then. Oh my gosh, so you could have breakfast and have your hair washed. Let's see. So maybe let's see what it looks like. Okay. I'm seeing a preview myself. I think it looks good because the chat's pretty big. I want to make sure you guys can all read it, and the pictures are just really for entertainment purposes. It was there was a launch of this shampoo or like hair growth company maybe, which you guys, the irony of that, like the first thing I thought was, is Harry using this product? Oh my, don't eat the jam. That's right. Don't eat the jam. I really want to try high growth jam, but I live in the States and the shipping is so expensive. Have any of you tried it before, the high growth jam? She wants to wash H out of her hair. That's a good one. Can she use the product on her wigs? Oh my, I mean, you can't grow something that's, oh gosh, this is going to sound bad. You can't grow something that's dead, right? Like, it's all, um, it's synthetic. Ooh, it's synthetic at the very least. So I'm going to ask you all a question. I want to make some funny videos and some funny posts, and Thanksgiving is right around the corner. So I'm trying to come up with top 10 lists. Like, what are the top 10 things Megan is the most grateful for? Or what are the top 10 most, what are her top 10 traditions at Thanksgiving? What are the top 10 things she might be cooking? You guys have any idea? Hide out loud. She's all natural. Yes, she's all about that natural beauty. Hi, Coffee Cat. I'm so glad you're all here. Does this timing work out for most of you? Yeah, I mean, I guess there's no kitty table, allegedly, right? Which are her top 10 shoes? One that would fit her. Oh my gosh, Tiff. I mean, oops, stop being mean. Ooh, I don't think I can show that one, Moonbeam. I mean, Space Cat. Oh, it's midnight for you? Bible, I'm sorry. Sandra says, I've heard people have bought the high growth jam and honey and they have said it's really nice. Oh, you're going to order some for your mom for Christmas? That's beautiful. Oh, that would be lovely. Her favorite thing about all the holidays is herself. Yeah, you think she's the Christmas tree? She puts the star on her head. Hi, Thumper. I'm glad you're here. Top 10 reasons we should be. Top 10 reasons we should. Sorry, I was holding the mic wrong. Top 10 reasons we should be thankful for like NARC's revealing the real Harry, making Catherine look better. It is. And you know, I wonder, like, if you think about it, all of us have this tendency to watch out for ourselves, right? It's an adaptive response. But with narcissists, it's like overboard. It's to the extreme, too much, right? So how did that happen? I don't know. I was talking to someone about it, and it seems like, at least I've noticed, I encounter them more and more. And I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm an empath. I don't know. And you all tell me too. Do you feel like you see them more and more? And then I also wonder, is the way our society is now just bringing it out in people, with all of the like the selfie culture and influencer stuff? I don't know. Janice, it's 4 p.m. in the UK. Okay, so it's good timing there. Hopefully most people are off work by now. Oh, that's a good one. Space Cat, top 10 people she screwed over. Wow. Oh my goodness, it's late for you, Sandra. I'm going to mix up what time I do my lives, and I'm going to try next week to do some at 4 or 5 p.m. my time, which I think is a reasonable time in Australia. Oh, I appreciate that, Bible. How about top 10 hairdos? Did you know she now has invested in hippie hair? Yeah, that's what we were just talking. Oh, that's the name of it, right? Ten times Harry looks genuinely happy. That would be before 2016. I honestly don't think I've seen him genuinely happy since he got with Megan. I actually made a video that I'm going to release pretty soon, just talking about that, about how happy Harry used to look when it was when he would be with William and Catherine. You know what, Thumper? I didn't say it, but I think so too. I think COVID really brought it out in a lot of people. And I think because of COVID, and the way I noticed it is that people have become so aggressive when driving. And I attributed that to COVID. Like, we were just unsocialized for a year or two. Yeah, we're all being educated. Love your real-time, real-life teachings. More aware of the behaviors. I'm glad you like them. I'm glad you like them. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Momster. Anytime, Sandra. Hi, Only Me. I like your name. So let's do that one. The top 10 people that she screwed over. Who do you guys think? I think Harry has to be one, right? Everyone is antisocial these days. I have to tell you, I love being at home. And for me, this was a conversation I had with my mom. My mom has been concerned that I spend a lot of time at home. And honestly, the home I'm in now is the first time that I really feel peace. Because, like, throughout my childhood, I was around a lot of narcissists. I never felt comfortable at home. And then I was married to one, so I wasn't comfortable at that home. So it's like finally I've set up a place that I really enjoy being. So I am so thankful, and it explains the antisocial behavior. And another thing also, I think, is that when I started realizing how many people around me were like didn't have my best interest and were toxic, and the majority of them were narcissists, it makes it really risky for me to make new friendships, right? Like I get a little bit nervous about it. It's like protecting yourself. So I'm a lot more cautious about the people I let in my circle. There's something I always say, and it's there are certain things that people earn. You don't just give them to people. And it's love, trust, respect, and time. People have to show that they're deserving of those things, right? And in healthy relationships, other people are gauging you in that way too, right? If someone is all of a sudden coming and they want to spend all this time with you, and that is a red flag, right? It should be a healthy progression. Oh, Thumper says Oprah. Yeah. But do you think Oprah also screwed Megan over too? Oh my gosh, Space Cat, the queen. What she did to the queen is unforgivable. Unforgivable. Monster, everyone she's met. Yep, I can see that. Yep, Coffee Cat says Trevor sending the rings back through FedEx. And you know what? People have been commenting that the ring, she took the stone out and put a different stone in and sent it back. Now this is all allegedly, so I don't know how true that is, but that's something people have commented about. Top 50 people Meg has Markle. That's a good one. That's a good one too. Hi KG. Space Cat, yep, the UK and American public. Oh, and now that she and Harry are both going after free speech, that's a big one. What Carry On Bible? Thumper, oh, must add Bill Simmons, executive at Spotify, who called MM and Harry grifters. I guess that was him screaming from the highest mountain. I mean, at some point when you're in business, you recognize like this is not going anywhere. You got to cut your losses. And actually, this reminds me of something else. It reminds me of something my dad said. So my dad was a pretty traditional man, and so I thought when I would tell him that I was getting divorced, I thought he would be sad, right? And I thought he liked my ex-husband. So I told him, and because my ex and I, we went through the narcissistic cycle so many times, he discarded me so many times. I think he ended the relationship with me like 10 times in 10 years, with the first 9 happening in the first 4 years. And then he like held it together the rest of the time. And finally, we went through divorce. When I told my dad, the first thing my dad said was, "Are you serious?" And I think he asked that because he had seen me go through it so many times before. And I said, "Yes." And he said, "You don't even know. This is the happiest day of your life. You need to throw a party. That it's the happiest day of your life." And I look back on that, and it reminds me of exactly what probably Harry's family would think, Harry's friends would think, even if they have no relationship with him now. They would probably have a big sigh of relief knowing he would be getting away from her. So it's really important, I think, to cut your losses. I know a lot of times we stay in relationships because it's like, look how much time I've invested, look how much, I've gone through with this person. But if the relationship is damaging, then you're just going to keep damaging yourself. Gigi, if she took the stone out, she probably pawned it. Probably. Do narcissists take trophies from victims? I'm not sure about that. But they will definitely take what they can, right? Whether it's an emotional take or a financial take. So they're all about themselves. So I wouldn't be surprised if they take trophies. If any of you have experience with that, feel free to drop that in the chat. Sandra says top 10: Harry, Prince Philip, the Queen, Catherine, Camilla, King Charles, UK public, Australia public, Fiji, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada. Yeah. Agreed. And the list keeps growing. Bible Unbutchered says her micro expressions in the engagement interview showed what she thought of Harry's design. I think so too, and I need to do an analysis of that one because I've watched other people do them, but it's different when you're the one like looking at the expressions yourself. And actually the one that's so enlightening for me is the Fab 4 interview. I've been releasing a couple of clips like analyzing the language she's using, but she was never intending on being a team player at all. At all. Thumper, can we do a list of 10 best clues and Harry are already broke? I have to tell you, like the last 2 weeks, the articles coming out have been really slow, so I think that's a big sign. They're not paying to get articles being put out. KG, I'm sorry, but I don't know who Bianca is. Coffee Cat says she was married to a malignant narc for 26 years and it almost completely destroyed you. I'm so sorry you went through that. It's horrible. And the malignant narcissists, like they're all horrible, but the malignant ones, they want to see you suffer. They love it. It's so awful. I'm sorry you went through that, Coffee Cat. Oh yeah, good point, Space Cat. She did screw over Invictus as well. Okay, I'm not going to say that out loud in case the video gets flagged. I don't know how exactly the flagging of things works, but I'm just going to play it safe. Isabel said, one of the King's Fred said not too long ago that the royal family was very worried about Harry's mental health. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's like vacant in the eyes. And you know, when you're with someone that's like this, it's just constantly breaking you down. Constant. You're always walking on eggshells. You never know what to expect. Coffee Cat. I would say narcs will take their pound of flesh before they leave. They will, whether it be money, prized possessions, and they also try to triangulate friends. Yes, they do. Triangulation is something I should get into and talk about. But that's definitely something that happens. And in my case, luckily, I didn't have, like, I was able to have a clean break with my ex-husband. We didn't have social circles that were the same. We didn't have any children together. So it was really easy for me to just separate myself out of that. So there was no triangulating happening. I mean, unless it was behind my back, but it would be with people that I'm not very interested in. But yeah, they definitely triangulate. They like to be in familial situations. So not in romantic, but the narcissists I've observed in the family, they want to be the center of everything. So what they'll do is they'll create conflict among everybody else, but then everyone is always in a good relationship with the narcissist. So it's like they're the center of the wheel and everyone else is like fighting with each other, but they're all good with the center of the wheel. She wanted to queen it over everyone. I think she wanted to be queen. Thank you, Hide Out Loud. Have a good one. Pure meditation. After all the Diddy things, and I don't know who Adria English is. Sorry, guys, that I don't know. Do you think that Harry actually met Meghan that same way, if you know what I mean? Okay. I kind of understand what you're saying. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. And I believe there was a strategy to it too. There are some claims that say that Meghan and Harry coincidentally in 2015, I think they were in Turkey at the same time, like Soho House was opening there, and for whatever reason Harry was in town, so a lot of people speculate that something may have occurred there. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I mean, they lied so many times about how they met. Like, why? Why would you have to lie so many times? When it's the truth, you just say it. Excuse me. When it's the truth, you just say it. You don't need to make up so many different stories. Thumper, number 1 on the clues they're broke list is the shoes Harry always wears. You know how much that bothers me? I mean, it's like, sorry guys. It's like, you know, Megan is spending so much money on her clothes and her outfits. And it's like, if you're at the mall or wherever she's buying these clothes, just buy him a pair of shoes. Right? Oh, I hate that. That's what I've noticed. What happened with my dad too. Like, come on. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Bible and Butcher, that's awful. So yours broke in and stole your dog. Were you able to get your dog back? Hi Claire, I'm so glad you're here. I have so much fun on these live streams. It's so like, I don't know, just being able to engage with all of you. I have been talking about doing this for so long. When I started my channel, I was always like, I can't wait to get to 1,000 subscribers so I could have lives. And, you know, I just started on Monday. So I'm going to try to do these often. Isabel says, it leads to Soho House. Sidley Twins did a deep dive ages ago. You should watch it. I've watched all of the Sidley Twins videos, but I like binge watched it. So I'm sure I've seen the video, and that might be where I'm getting the information about Turkey. But yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised about that at all, allegedly, and in my opinion. Do you guys have any plans for the weekends you're excited about? Good for you, Bible Unbutchered. It's your dog. You know, they always go after the things you love the most, right? Man. That's terrible. I'm glad you got your dog back. Let me see if I can show you. The chat, though. Maybe I can hide the chat for a second. Oh, goodness. So, this is a clip from the same day that Megan and the Queen went on. Very subtle. Thank you so much, Thumper. I appreciate it so much. So okay, I'll show you the video, and you all tell me if this. I don't know why sometimes I try to show something and it won't. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know why it's not letting me show. Okay, we can go back to this screen. Kate says, mine tried to take my dog, but I called the police and he was arrested. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, Kate, and I'm sorry that that was the reason that the police had to be called. It's awful. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let me see if I can put that clip back up. For a second. Oh my goodness. I don't know why the armrest one won't show. I wanted you guys to see that. Claire says, by the way, in the UK, if you're rich, you always wear the same clothes and shoes. The older, the more ragged, the more old money you are. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting to know. And it makes sense why Catherine does her upcycling. I actually really respect that. You know, they talk about being environmentally friendly and so concerned about, what's happening globally, and yet they're like leaving the biggest carbon footprint. Yeah, Isabel, I think she did. She stepped in front of the Queen several times, and what I was trying to show you is I have a clip where I brightened up the image, and they're sitting in a theater, and it looks like Meghan is taking over the armrest, like both sides of the armrest. I wish I could get it to show. Fix it. Let's see. There we go. And let me turn this off too so y'all can see. Does it look like she's taking over both of the armrests? What do you all think? To me, I was like, that's aggressive. But maybe it's hard to tell and it's grainy, but to me it looks like she is taking over the armrest. Yeah. She can't even hide her evil intent facial expressions. She is, and she is the perfect person to study narcissism. I really think a lot of people can learn a lot just watching her behavior. And I don't know why she became an actress. Allegedly, in my opinion, that she's a narcissist. Yeah, Meghan was smiling like the crowds were cheering for her instead of the Queen. And I bet you she truly believed that. Isabel, I do think that. Okay, Coffee Cat, so you saw that too with the elbows. Pure Meditation says, I don't understand how Harry thinks that this woman really loves him. How can you isolate your husband from his entire family and friends and also encourage him to talk badly about them in public? You know, this is where it's complicated, because I like to look at things from what are the things that Meghan did that led to Harry acting this way. And I feel when I say that, it almost gives this impression that Harry is not responsible. Harry is completely responsible for the things that he did. Absolutely. And I think that when you're under the narcissist spell, they're just, well, first of all, the fear of losing them, you'll do anything to not lose them. And that fear actually gets worse and worse the more isolated you get, because you become emotionally dependent on them, and there's no one else that's around that can help you, right? And when you're in it, you don't realize how bad it is. So there was an analogy about how if you have a pot of boiling water and you put a frog in it, the frog will jump out. But if you put a frog in lukewarm water and you slowly raise the temperature and it gets to boiling, the frog still won't jump out, because the progression is so slow, and you get used to the bad environment, that as it gets worse and worse, you can't really tell. Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you see that too. Space Cat, yeah, it's a hard video to completely say. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about it. But I mean, they both look a little bit uncomfortable though, right? like almost like they're trying their best to not touch each other. Yeah, Coffee Cat, she had a smug smile of ultimate duper's delight at the funeral. Oh my gosh. I made a video about that, how if the only evidence you need that Meghan is a bad person, it's how she acted with the Queen and then at the funeral, because she really made the queen's life so awful the last few years, and then she shows up to the funeral and has one tear left eye, which we know is Meghan's specialty when she's acting. She's mentioned that before. It's just awful, and she had duper's delight the whole time, I feel, at the funeral. Thumper says, I can't believe she was with the queen on a daytime event without a hat. That was already a huge shocker. So as an American, I don't know a lot about those like etiquette rules, but when someone comes and tells you like, oh, you know, the queen's going to be wearing a hat, so we suggest you wear one too, guess what I'm doing? I'm wearing a hat. It's like she just wanted to be antagonistic like all the time. Hi, Lilies. Yeah, Sandra agrees also. She took her advice from Harry. Oh, well, that's the blind leading the blind, isn't it? CNK, exactly. Being American is not an excuse for not wearing the hat, because what I mean for me on the outside, like, it's not so taboo for me because I'm not used to it. But what rubs me the wrong way is that she was told the queen is going to be wearing one. We recommend that you wear one. I mean, that's pretty much, you should wear it, right? Like, and she still just defied them. And then to come out and say, no one helped me. Dude, they came and told you wear a hat and you didn't wear a hat, and then you were criticized in the media for not wearing a hat and you were told to wear a hat. It's like some of this stuff is such common sense to me. And then to not even feel that you're accountable for some part of it. Oh, it's their fault. They never taught me what I was supposed to do. They told you flat out. There's always got to be an excuse. Yeah, the wind sure did teach her a lesson that day. Her hair was all over the place. Yeah, that was a rough day. And her hair was like, I don't know, it was unkept or unkempt. It wasn't very good that day. Isabel, she was given lessons before she even met the queen, then just did what she wanted. Yeah, exactly. It's because it goes back to this being a collaborator or a competitor. And Meghan is a competitor. She doesn't work well in a team. She sees herself as an individual contributor. And because she sees herself that way, you know, she takes over, she does whatever she wants, and as long as it's giving her attention and it's giving her glory, she doesn't care how it reflects on other people. Oh, pure meditation. This is the part that bothers me so much. She could have had the greatest love story with Harry and had the best. Can you imagine a job like that where you get to look all pretty and you get dressed up every day and you go and you talk to people and you spread joy and you're doing good things, and then you throw it all away? Oh, and then on top of that, you're not concerned about your rent or a roof over your head. Like, you have a lot less financial concerns. Bye, Space Cat. See you soon. Hi, Lilies. Coffee Cat says, besides being a narc, I truly believe she has oppositional defiant disorder. Everything she does is contrary and defiant. I haven't heard of this before, but I can totally, she is completely defiant. She knows, people tell her, you know, what's expected of her, and she purposely goes against it, like, for sure. Claire says, I also think Harry doesn't know any of the sorry, I can't pronounce it. Oh my gosh, why am I'm having like a moment on a Friday morning. He doesn't know the subtleties, like the minuscule events that exist for women in the royal family, like colors, tights, hats, nails. She should have taken some advice from female staff or other members. Yes, and remember, like, there was one of the queen's, like, most trusted aides that was supposed to help her with that. And she said, no, I don't need... Oh, there was an article actually that came out recently, maybe in the last month or two ago, about how the queen made that offer to her and her response said, no, thank you, I have Harry. Do you remember reading that article? Good for you, Lily's being efficient, listening while doing chores. Bible Unbutchered, she curtsied fine in suits. Of course she did. She's too much. Oh my gosh. It's the hypocrisy also that kills me, right? Like, she knows in a meeting with the queen she's supposed to curtsy, and this goes back to let me find that chat. The one about oppositional... Where did it go? Oh, Coffee Cat said about being an oppositional defiant. So that goes back to that. Isabel says she was copying Whitney Houston and doing the curtsy. The one on Netflix? Isabel, the one on Netflix or the one in Suits? Mia asks, in your opinion, do victims of narcs share any characteristics? I think so. And I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a therapist. So all of this is just my real world experience. But there is a certain type of person that is attractive to a narcissist in terms of emotional. Okay, so I'm not talking about like physical appearance, but there are certain characteristics that allow a narcissist to go wild. And one of those things is having strong empathy, because a lot of the manipulation that narcissists use involves manipulating people emotionally and causing someone to feel like empathy for the person and connect with them quickly. So I do believe there are some things that they do share, and I think vulnerability is an important one too. So someone may be at an ordinary point in their life, they may see right through a narcissist, but if they come upon a time when they're vulnerable, whether it's emotionally or financially, they might be more inclined at that time to, fall under the spell of a narcissist, whereas at other times they may not, in my opinion. Claire says, Harry grew up in this world. He might not even realize all the rules. He just lives in it. She needed advice from someone else who married in, who also knows the world outside the family. And didn't they offer Duchess Sophie to her? I think at one point the queen offered Sophie to help her, and she said no. Let me know if you all remember that. Isabel said the Whitney concert just before she died. I'll have to look for that. I don't recall that. So I don't know if you all saw, but TRG analyzed that clip that was released last week of Harry and Meghan when they were in for the Columbia conference, and TRG said she ran it through some software and it looked like it may have been AI generated. So there are certain times when I watch their interviews that they're just weird, like that. The one from Columbia, that was just weird. And another one that's really, really weird is that CBS Sunday Morning one. So I wonder, do any of you think that could have been AI generated, meaning the parts that Harry and Meghan are there? or maybe some portions of it. Bet she was waiting for Catherine to be the helper. Yeah, I bet she was. But then, like, can you imagine a situation like that? She would never listen to. She would make Catherine's life miserable. She probably, if something like that were to happen, the goal of that would be to try to charm Catherine. I would think, to try to basically love bomb Catherine and then gather information from her and use it later. And that information could be used, excuse me, could be used to create distance between Harry and Catherine, like as she finds out more information. And it also could be, we all know that she preferred the other brother, in my opinion. Isabel Wright, Mia Clark. Yes, there is a word for it. They copy the way their narcissistic partners behave when they spend all their time together. Yes, it's called mirroring. And actually mirroring, if I'm not mistaken, that's something that most of us do when we're already talking to people. But most of us, when we're doing it, we're trying to establish a true connection with people. But narcissists are doing it to cause like this fake. They want to speed up the process of intimacy. And by intimacy, I mean relationally, like not physical intimacy, but to have a deeper connection with someone as quick as possible. Thank you, Ocean Gal. I thought so too. Bible and budget. If anything went wrong, well, Catherine told me to do that. And then, oh my gosh, can you see it? She goes and tells Harry, Catherine told me to do that. She must have done that on purpose to sabotage me. Oh, I could so see that. Stacy says, I think Catherine had her number from the start, which infuriated Markle. I bet. I mean, I think Megan went in there already envious of Catherine, because during Catherine's wedding, didn't she say, like, in one of her blog posts that all little girls want to be a princess and blah, blah, blah. And then she almost took a dig at Catherine, and she said, but if I was going to be a princess, I would be like Shira or something like that. Thank you, Kaza. Yes, Angela Kelly, who is very experienced. So the late Queen offered Angela Kelly to Megan to help guide her through the process. And Megan, because she knows everything, said no. Isabel says William definitely summed her up. I bet. Oh my gosh, wouldn't you love to be a fly on that wall hearing William and Catherine like, oh my gosh, what has Harry gotten himself into? We gotta pull him out of this. Okay, then Kaza says, then she was offered Sophie, and she said no to that also. Yep. And then I remember reading an article just recently where she said something like the queen offered her someone, and then Megan said, that's okay, I've got Harry. So she denied the help and assumed, Harry is good enough to teach her everything. And why would you even say that? Because clearly Harry is not the best teacher of that. Hi, Pamela. Coffee Cat. She was given a 32-page dossier of protocols. And this is the hypocrisy. She allegedly studied so much when she would do the Suits, when she was on Suits. Like, she really studied that script. And now she's being prepared for the biggest responsibility she's ever had, and she probably didn't read that 32-page dossier of protocols. Lady Susan Hussey. I'm not sure who that, the name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure who that is. CK. Snagging a prince. Yeah, like Harry knows about fashion. Didn't he in his own book say that he didn't know a lot about fashion, and he would go like towards closing time to TK Maxx, I think it's called in the UK. In the States, it's called TJ Maxx. So he self-admittedly didn't know much about fashion himself. Okay, Mia says, I'm sorry, I meant, do the victims share characteristics with each other? Are they more likely to be young, for example? Okay, so, I think the young might be more naive, right? Because they haven't experienced life. So I think that could play into something that a narcissist might look for, right? Because women that have experienced it, that have gone through it, they might be more, a little bit older than the young. So I could see that too. I think though it's much more finding someone that is vulnerable, that will reciprocate quickly. So one example of this early on, it's something that I've noticed, is that when you first meet romantically someone who may be a narcissist, they really flood you with texts and phone calls. And for me, when that happens to me now, it's suffocating for me. Like, I already am like, no, I can't. This person is invading too many of my boundaries too quickly. Like, I've known you for an hour. You should not be texting me constantly, right? But I think some people, they really like that type of communication. So yeah, I mean, I think that's one way. Like, that in my idea is one form of love bombing, where they're already like, that shouldn't be there yet. Like, you don't even know this person. And, there'll be a lot of questions that are being asked and information that's being taken, and it's all, yeah. You guys tell me, what do you think about that? Do you think there's characteristics that victims of narcissists share? Okay, so Lady Susan Hussey was the Queen's Lady in Waiting that said no to also. She always thinks she knows better than anyone else, even when she's way out of her league. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Kaza. Yes, Lilies, someone just mentioned that. It was a 32 page. I'm sorry if I forgot who said that. I'm going to look really quick. Coffee Cat said that. Coffee Cat said that also. James says, Harry was well protected by the royal machine. He really did not take life seriously. It was all planned for him. What makes today so interesting, the world is trying to eat him now. Yeah. For someone that had been around the world, I think he was very naive. He was well protected. And I think there's a lot of things that the palace didn't let out during Harry's youth, and he was protected a lot from negative publicity, I bet, and that's why I think it just rubs him so much right now when he sees negative comments and things. Bible Unbutchered says, turn off, deal breaker. Bible Unbutchered, do you mean the constant texting and calling and all that? Mia says, H rushed in. You're right. And this triggered a memory. Okay, so an example of this is of the constant talking and communication and kind of breaking boundaries early on. Harry and Meghan went on their first date. They ended the date, and then Harry went to his friend's house. They were watching the Disney one about emotions. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, so they were watching that movie, and Meghan FaceTimes him without telling him that she was going to FaceTime him. And to me, when you don't know someone, you don't just FaceTime them. You don't know where they are. You don't know who they're with. And she just did, because she just broke, like, to her, it doesn't matter. Like, you better answer your FaceTime call. I know we just went on our first date, but I want to know where you are. I want to know who you're with. And he did end up answering the call, and Megan saw in the background that he's watching that Disney Pixar movie, and she starts almost mocking him for watching it. So in one way, she's giving him attention by FaceTiming him, and I think she said something else to him that was positive, and then in the same sentence or in the same conversation, she was like, "Oh, that's what you're watching?" So it's very much a push-pull thing that's happening too. So they give a little bit, and then they kind of throw in a dig a little bit. And I think this is part of the game. Like if you are, they want to see how much you can tolerate. At what point will you be like, no, that is really weird. Like, no, don't say that to me, or don't talk like that to me. Isabel says, William and Anne are strong personalities. That's why she never fooled them. Yep. Agreed. Pure Meditation says she was with her ex for 7 years before marrying him. Why so fast with Harry? Yep. Because she was going to be found out. she had to trap that as fast as she could, in my opinion, and allegedly. Yeah. Pamela says Harry didn't so much rush in as he was rushed. Yep. I agree. And it's really intoxicating, right? Like when you meet someone and you're in a vulnerable place and you kind of don't have, I don't think Harry has high self-esteem, and here's someone that's like, that in your mind you think is beautiful, that is telling you that this successful actress in Hollywood or in Toronto, and paparazzi are there, and she would also tell him stories like, oh, so-and-so recognized me, and she would, in my opinion, she was making these stories up, so she was selling herself as someone a lot more desirable than she was. So for someone that has low self-esteem, and they see, oh my gosh, this beautiful woman who's desired by so many is coming, like she wants to be with me, and she's FaceTiming me, I think it's intoxicating. Bible Unbutchered says, yeah, the overkill. Definitely. Hope floats. Do narcissists recognize that they are narcissists and clouded in their view of themselves? This is a question that I'm not a therapist, so I don't know. But I've heard in like circles that they say narcissists don't genuinely question if they're narcissists, because they don't have self-awareness. So I am saying that, like, this is what I've heard. I haven't really looked into it, but I could see how that could be true. Pamela says, what's strange is you can feel it when a narc is manipulating you, but you somehow have the urge to please them even when you know it's not the right thing for yourself. Yes. And that I think is probably part of the characteristics of the victims, this people pleasing. So I think there's a lot of empathy. There's this desire to be pleasing everybody. So yeah, I totally see that. Revealing, what is your opinion on her being a mother? Allegedly. I mean, look at how she is as a wife. I'm sure that behavior doesn't stop with Harry. And what I have learned about narc parents is that they usually have one child that's the golden child and one child that's the scapegoat. And when you create this dynamic between siblings, especially at such a young age, it really creates a lot of conflict between the siblings. So I can imagine that there's probably a lot of that happening. What do you all think about that? Pamela says, I think Harry also was intrigued by a woman who was so forward with him. That was a new experience for him as a prince. I think so too. And then add to that she claimed that she didn't know who he was. I think that was another attractive thing for him, because he felt like he could start anew, in a way. Okay, you all, I'm going to end this chat in about a minute, or this live stream in about a minute. I've had such a good time. I'll schedule another one really soon. I'll try to do these a couple times a week because it's really fun for me to engage with all of you. And yeah, I had a really good time. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for